Hey guys, so this is my dream of a lifetime, not really, but kind of. So we're doing a video today on baking with apples. So we went apple picking. I'm using Granny Smith apples and I'm making two things. So I'm making an apple crisp for tonight, and then I'm also making some freezer apple scones. So what I'm doing right now is I am mixing a stick of salted butter, flour, organic sugar in the raw. I've never actually baked with this before, so I'll let you know what it tastes like. Brown sugar, and then I'm also using oats, which is going on the topping. So I'm gonna post the whole recipe below. I just feel like it's easier just to talk through what's in it, and then you can look in the description down below, and yeah. So what I'm doing is mixing up brown sugar, flour, butter, and something else that will be down in the description. So this is gonna go on the bottom of the crisp. And what you want is you want the butter to be nice and like chunky but thin. And you can't really use a mixer, you could, but flour would go poof and go everywhere. Oh, and salt. That's what's in here, a little bit of salt. So what I'm gonna do is spread this all nice, and this is gonna go on the bottom. So this is almost like a really easy dump cake. You can make this as a casserole with friends. Don't worry, my hands are clean. So yeah, this is step one. You want to put the filling down at the bottom. So now what I'm gonna do is go over to the stove top and bake the apples. Okay, so we just made what went on the bottom for the crisp. So now this is gonna be the apple part. So what you're gonna do, and I kind of winged this part, so we'll see if it works, but it's apple cider, just like a tiny little bit. And then you're gonna take some cornstarch and stick it in with the apple cider. And it's gonna make kind of like a really thick sauce that's gonna coat the apples. So what I'm gonna do is whisk it around like so. This is totally me trying this out, so this could fail, but it'll work. I think. So yeah, oh yeah, it's starting to thicken. So then you're gonna take a cup of sugar and put that in there. And I'm gonna turn the heat up just a tad. I have it on medium, so you want it around there for it to make a nice little, almost like caramel sauce. So I'm gonna whisk it around, and oh yeah, it looks so good. Now, this recipe was for peaches. So you could do this with peaches and just put the juice from like a can of peaches in here. But again, I'm doing this with apples, so you have to kind of modify it. All right. Starting to thicken up, which is what you want. You want it to thicken up. Cornstarch really helps make things thicker as a sauce. And you just don't want it to be chunky. So, okay. So now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take some delicious apples, and we're going to stick them in here. And I'm gonna turn up the heat even a little bit more, and we're gonna caramelize the apples. You're gonna let this sit for about, and you wanna be stirring, so you don't wanna burn whatever fruit you're doing. So like I said, I'm doing apples, so I don't want them to burn. But you're gonna do this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and what you really want is for your fruit to be baked nicely. And that's gonna go on top of this. So it's, in a sense, since this has butter, it's basically gonna melt your butter that's in your pan. And then we're gonna put a topping over top of it, and then bake it in the oven. So, okay, I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. All right. A mystery ingredient, because I have to throw in an oil, is cinnamon bark oil. So I mentioned this in another video that we just did, and this one you can ingest. Now, how do you know you can ingest it? Because if you look on Young Living's website, they mention it as a dietary oil. It's a really strong one. So I'm gonna put 1 drop, and that's it. Because I really want a nice cinnamon taste, and I've actually never baked with that oil. So yeah, Oh yeah, you can already smell it. And then while that's baking, so this is the topping, which I kind of mentioned. So this is oats, brown sugar, butter, and I think sugar. So this is a non-healthy recipe, but it's so good. And it's super easy to make for friends, especially if you want to do an easy dessert with some ice cream. So, all right. Not making a mess. Try not to make a mess. Oh. You want all that goodness. All right. Obviously, I want to spread around my apples as best as I can. I'll tilt it up just in case you guys can't see. So you want it to look all nice and juicy. And already you can kind of, if you were here with me right now, you can tell that the butter is already starting out. And then this topping. And there's that. So just like any cooking show, we will show you the final product when it's done, but it's gonna go in for about 25 minutes. And my dog is going to get her head burned. And here it is, guys, the apple crisp. Now, it's been cooling for about 10 minutes, but it's nice and bubbly and so good. So I will be posting the recipe below, and if you have any questions, comment below and make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.